In the great tapestry of history, there comes a time when the tides begin to turn, when the quiet challenger steps out from the shadows and takes its place at the head of the table. For decades, the world has watched China rise fast, formidable, and unshakable. But beyond the headlines and the statistics, another story has been quietly unfolding. A story of resilience, innovation, and unstoppable ambition. This is the story of India, a nation once underestimated, now standing on the threshold of destiny. And as the winds of change sweep across the global stage, one truth is becoming clear. The challenger is becoming the leader. Economic momentum outpacing rivals, strategic geopolitical positioning, demographic advantage and innovation, shifting global alliances and influence. India's economic momentum is not a sudden burst of growth, but the result of years of steady progress, resilience, and strategic reform. Over the past decade, the country has transformed from a developing economy heavily reliant on agriculture to a diversified powerhouse driven by manufacturing, services, and technology. Annual GDP growth consistently ranks among the highest in the world, even in times when global markets face uncertainty. Unlike many economies that are overly dependent on exports, India benefits from a large domestic market with a rapidly expanding middle class whose consumption fuels internal demand and drives industries forward. This internal resilience gives India an edge in weathering global economic storms that can disrupt other nations. Investment in infrastructure has accelerated, with new highways, ports, and high-speed rail networks being built to connect industries and markets more efficiently. Digital transformation initiatives have placed India at the forefront of fintech, e-commerce, and IT services, attracting significant foreign direct investment from companies seeking both skilled talent and long-term stability. The government's reforms, such as the implementation of the goods and services tax and the push for Make in India, have further simplified business processes and encouraged industrial growth. Unlike China, whose growth is now slowing due to rising labor costs and a shrinking workforce, India's younger population continues to enter the job market in large numbers, providing both a workforce and a consumer base. Combined with a competitive labor market and growing innovation hubs in cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune, India is positioning itself as the next major engine of the global economy. This momentum is not just about numbers, it represents a shift in economic gravity, signaling that India is no longer just catching up, it is beginning to set the pace for the future. India's strategic geopolitical positioning is one of its most powerful advantages in the race to surpass China. Located at the heart of the Indian Ocean, India sits astride some of the world's most critical maritime trade routes, serving as a bridge between the Middle East, Africa, Southeast Asia, and beyond. This geographic advantage gives India the ability to influence global shipping lanes, secure energy supplies, and participate in strategic trade partnerships that are essential for economic and political influence. In recent years, India has actively leveraged this position to strengthen its diplomatic and security ties. It has become a key player in alliances such as the Quad, alongside the United States, Japan, and Australia, aimed at ensuring a free and open Indo-Pacific. By engaging with both Western powers and regional neighbors, India has managed to balance relationships without becoming overly dependent on any single bloc. This approach contrasts with China's increasingly confrontational foreign policy, which has strained its ties with several nations. India's ports and naval bases have also taken on greater strategic importance, not only for trade but for maintaining regional stability. Investments in deep-water ports, improved naval capabilities, and partnerships for maritime security have allowed India to project power far beyond its shore. Its proximity to the Strait of Malacca, a vital choke point for global oil shipments, adds to its leverage in global trade dynamics. This positioning is not just geographic, it is strategic foresight. By building strong economic and security networks, India is ensuring that it remains central to the world's future trade, energy, and security architecture. As global powers increasingly pivot toward the Indo-Pacific, India's location transforms from a geographic fact into a geopolitical asset, cementing its role as a leader in shaping the balance of power. India's demographic advantage is one of its most defining strengths. In the 21st century, setting it apart from many major economies, including China. With a population of over 1.4 billion, India is not only the most populous country in the world, but also one of the youngest. The median age is under 30, creating a massive working age population that will drive economic growth, innovation and consumption for decades to come. This youthful energy provides a steady supply of talent across industries, from manufacturing and services to technology and research, giving India a long-term growth engine that many nations can no longer rely on. Unlike China, which is now grappling with an aging population and a shrinking workforce, India is entering its prime demographic window. This means a larger proportion of its citizens are contributing to the economy rather than depending on it, reducing the social and economic pressures associated with aging society. A young workforce is naturally more adaptable to new technologies, eager to learn and capable of sustaining productivity gains over the long term. India's growing emphasis on education and skill development further amplifies this advantage. Government programs, private sector initiatives, and global partnerships are expanding access to quality training in fields such as engineering, IT, biotechnology, and advanced manufacturing. Cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Pune have become innovation hubs, producing skilled professionals who not only meet domestic needs, but also attract foreign investment. Beyond the economic benefits, this demographic profile fuels a culture of creativity, entrepreneurship, and digital adoption. With millions entering the workforce each year, the potential for startups, technological breakthroughs, and new market creation is immense. This combination of youthful population and growing innovation capacity is positioning India not just as a fast-growing economy, but as a future leader in shaping the global technological and economic landscape. Shifting global alliances are playing a pivotal role in India's rise as it moves from challenger to leader on the world stage. Over the past decade, the geopolitical landscape has been undergoing a profound transformation, with nations re-evaluating their partnerships and strategic priorities. India has skillfully navigated this evolving environment, building relationships that enhance both its economic and security interests, while maintaining its independence in foreign policy. As tensions between China and several major powers intensify, India has emerged as an attractive and reliable partner for countries seeking balance. In the Indo-Pacific region, strategic groupings like the Quad, which includes the United States, Japan, and Australia, have amplified India's role in ensuring stability, open sea lanes, and mutual security cooperation. Beyond the Quad, India has strengthened ties with the European Union, the Middle East, and African nations, expanding its diplomatic footprint far beyond its immediate neighborhood. Trade agreements, defense partnerships, and infrastructure collaborations have positioned India as a central figure in regional and global planning. By engaging in projects such as renewable energy development, digital infrastructure, and critical technology sharing, India has demonstrated that it is not merely aligning with others, but actively shaping the global agenda. Unlike China, whose assertive approach has caused friction in many quarters, India has maintained a reputation for dialogue, cooperation, and respect for sovereignty. This has allowed it to form partnerships across both Western and non-Western spheres, bridging divides that others can. In a world where alliances are increasingly fluid, India's ability to adapt and lead through collaboration offers it a unique advantage. As these alliances deepen and diversify, India's voice in global decision-making grows louder, ensuring that its influence is not only regional, but truly global in scope. Here's a Morgan Freeman-style conclusion that ties together all four expanded points from your speech. From challenger to leader, India surpassing China into a powerful cinematic closing. And so, the story comes into focus. A nation propelled by unstoppable economic momentum, standing at the crossroads of the world's most vital trade routes. A country whose greatest strength lies not only in its geography, but in the hearts and minds of its people. Young, driven, and unafraid to innovate. A land forging friendships across continents, building bridges where others build walls, shaping alliances that will define the decades ahead. For years, India has been called the challenger, the one racing to catch up. But the truth is, it has been quietly building its foundations, laying the stones of its future, while the world looked elsewhere. Now the foundation is set, the engines are running, and the challenger is no longer chasing, it is leading. History tells us that power does not remain, it moves, it shifts, It changes hands when the moment is right. And for India, that moment is arriving, not in a sudden flash, but in a steady, unstoppable march forward. In the years to come, maps will not change, but the balance of influence. The world will look to a new leader, one built on resilience, opportunity, and vision. And when they do, they will see India no longer in the shadow of another, but standing in the full light of its own destiny.